Victor Osimhen scores in the 75th minute to keep Napoli's UEFA Champions League stay alive. All right. So and Barcelona's Lewandowski's goal in the 60th minute did not deter Napoli from forging ahead. Gallio's last-minute goal puts Porto an inch ahead of Arsenal after the first leg of the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. Will there be a comeback for Arsenal in the Emirates when they play host to Porto in the second leg of the round of 16? Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Now Streaming, reaching you live from the capital city of Abuja. I am Chukwebuka Ike, your anchor this morning, and joining me in the studio today are Mr. Raphael Jaokomo. Mr. Raphael, welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Raphael is.
Welcome back to Simen.
All right, so Mr. Raphael is a social and sports commentator, and also with me here is Prince Kelechi. Mr. Kelechi, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, he is a professional football referee and sports analyst. All right, so we're having virtually Mr. Olalekan Oyeleke. He's the national team captain and North Central Zonal representative of Nigeria Amputee Football Federation. All right, so viewers, remember you can join in by calling the numbers on your screen right away or sending your comment via our various social media platforms. Amputee football is a special type of football specially designed for the players with amputations either of the legs, and it's an inspiring sport that showcases the skills and determination of athletes with limb differences. So we'll get to know more about this sport this morning on the show, but first let's talk about the sports headlines. And before me here is Punch Sports Extra, and the list story says Go Getters Stars setting MPFL on fire with goals. All right, so that's the headline of Punch Sports, and above there we have Chukwueze I first Europa goal in 4 years. All right, so see that on page 6. All right, so Onyenizide Ajeke joins Madrid CFF. Alright, so that's on page 7. Alright, so that's the scoreline of the Premier League between Liverpool and Luton Town yesterday ended 4-1. So it says Reds fight back to maintain lead. So Reds fight back to maintain lead. Right, and Napoli had a draw against Barcelona, and the story there says Victor's back. Osimhen scores to save Patonipel's blushes. All right, so that's on page 8. The both of them are on page 8 of Punch Sports. All right, so Madrid won over Mbappe signing. Why? Find out on page 3 on Punch Sports Extra. Arsenal holds talk with Rabiot. And then Haaland has silenced critics. That's coming from Pep Guardiola, Man City coach. Find the details of that story on page 5 and page 4 of Punch Sports Extra. Lewandowski, Griezmann linked with MLS move. Alright, so it's on page 3 of Punch Sports Extra. And then the bottom strip story says Murray loses to teenager in Qatar. Wow, that's so disheartening to a teenager. All right, so find the details on page 2 of the Punch Sports Extra. Joshua in spectacular shape ahead of Galgolu's clash. Gentlemen, I want to start this discussion now with the issue or the economic hardship that has affected our Afro basketball team, or our basketball team, national basketball team. It says cash-strapped NBBF withdraws the Tigers from Afro basket qualifiers.
Okay. I know the female team, the Tigers, they suffered the same fate the last time. Now the men are faced with. In fact, the one for the Tigers is that they qualified for the tournament, and then they were told they couldn't go because of funds. And now the Tigers are also suffering the same fate. coming back from a position where the federation, not federation rather, the government just splashed some
Federal
cash
government, yeah, exactly.
to the Super Eagles. And this basketball team, the male team, has been doing the nation proud. Same with the female team, who won their last tournament to qualify for the playout for the Olympic qualifiers, and also have qualified. So I don't think we're doing a good disservice to the. We'll be doing them a disservice to throw them out like that, because these guys gave their all. Like you were saying off camera. Maybe that's why some of these players would prefer to play in other nationals than, because we don't take these things serious. We don't take these things serious. I cannot give my all, and when it's time for me to go for a tournament, and then you say there is no money, and I pulled out. These are things that countries in, how will I put it, the lowest of lowest, I don't know if there's any English like that, should be struggling with, not Nigeria. Coming to say they cannot afford to foot the bill of these guys going out. I know these are not, even football have suffered the same fate, but I don't think football has suffered the point where we pulled out of a tournament. We've seen games like the guys go for Olympics, the sets Mikel went for, that he had to somewhat foot the bill. Same thing with the 96 team, that they had to find a way to rally around the tournament. I think Nigeria has gotten past that stage where we should be having this kind of issue, and you're only dampening the morale of these players. They give you all their work, they put in all the work, and then when it's time for them to go for the tournaments, you're telling them they cannot go. I think it's high time we stop this nonsense.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kelechi, Punch has a story and says Eagles have new identity. That's coming from the assistant captain of the Super Eagles. And then on the contrary, Vanguard has another story. It says AFCON final. That same Super Eagles assistant captain says he faults Pesero's status. What do you have to say about it?
Okay, let me start from the second point. Yes, Ekong, if I were to be Ekong, or I would say Ekong is right saying he faults Pesero's tactics, because if you notice, from the first to the final match we played, Nigeria had not won any match in terms of possession. We always concede possession to our opponents. We tend to play more of defensive football.
Minded football.
I call that Mourinho pattern, pack the boss. That is the pattern we played throughout the tournament. And that's not really a tactics for us to go into a major tournament with. The best form of attack is to defend, and the best form of defend also is to attack. Now, if you play more of defense, you're giving your opponent every chance to keep attacking you. Now, look at the finals. We had less attack. We played more of defense, and that's why if you ask me, that's why we considered the goals we did. Anyways, that is that. Now, coming back to the identity, yes, we agree with that. We have new identity because over the years we've been suffering issue of goalkeeping department. Now I feel is a department we've covered, but at the same time I would say not fully covered, because that you have a Nwabali in your goalpost. God forbid, what if he gets injured? Who are you going to use? You still have that same Uzoho in quotes where Nigerians agitating don't play him. So why not get more hands? Make the room competitive, and you're going to get stronger hands. You also have other places you need to cover. The left wing back, if it's not Zaidu, if it's not Ola Aino, if it's not Bruno Onyemechi, if it's not Jamilu Collins, and we just need to make every department competitive, and with that, certainly we're going to have a better identity.
Right. So, Mr. Raphael, just a few days after the AFCON, I've seen some social media bullying against most of our players, which one of which is that against Alex Iwobi. And what do you have to say about that? I understand that the position he played was not his natural position, but let's hear your view about.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to say no to cyberbullying. Whoever is involved in things like that should desist from such. Now, I talked about the MBBF. These guys give their all on the field. You and I can be on the behind the screen and tell them how they should do it. But I don't think if we're on the field with them, we'll be able to pull it out the same way they do. He was playing a different role. Like Ekong said, Nigeria has a new identity. That new identity meant someone like an Iwobi, who is an attack-minded midfielder.
Playing
Not deep,
playing more deep.
Do you understand me? I think I would fault we all at one point in time complained that he wasn't giving his best as to who we know he is, like
An attacking-minded player.
he was playing like what Mikel did during his Chelsea days. He would play in the defensive in Chelsea and then come to Nigeria and play in the attacking. For someone like a Mikel, he was able to adapt to that role he was asked to play. But for Iwobi, I think it was quite difficult because we could all see him run around the pitch. Everybody want to see Iwobi give out a pass, but Iwobi was always on the defensive. Now, when you're on the defensive, people also expect you to make tackles. People expect you to steal ball and the likes. And when you don't see that, it becomes a problem entirely. Do you understand? And people can see these things happening. So I think it's bad to go out. No, Nigerians, we don't joke with football. And that's why they say when you're coming to play in Africa, you must be ready, because Africans, we take these things very serious and personal. But like I said from the beginning, please say no to cyberbullying, because that's why someone like Maduka is finding it difficult to come back.
He's playing better now.
Playing better for Udinese, but he was playing the role that was given to him by his coach. And for the coach to play him from the first game to the last game, it means he was doing well for the coach. But for Nigerians, they wanted something because they know what he could give them if he was playing a different role entirely.
All right, thank you, Mr. Olalekan. I don't know if you can still hear me. I want to know your views about what Vanguard Sports says that Econ fought Pesero's tactics at the finals of AFCON 2023.
Well, I said his own point of view. Everybody has their own point of view. So I felt he has the reason why, or he knows the reason why he has fought Pesero. And Super Rugby is a big sector, which there are a lot of things going on in the team, which is even beyond what we support and let me say the fans are. So he has the point, or he knows better why he says that. But to me, I felt they really tried getting to the point. There's no reason, where we have Cameroon, we have Ghana, we have Morocco, and other big countries in Africa visiting the AFCON showing. So what we just need to do, or let me say what I was about, so I will just go back to the show. Now the AFCON is gone, so let's see how we can concentrate on the World Cup qualifier so that we can put all the energy together, put themselves together, and see how we can resolve the end at the AFCON.
All right, thank you so much. So, back here in the studio, gentlemen, the English Premier League. Yesterday we saw an injury inflicted Liverpool come up from behind to win in Luton Town. Exactly, you're smelling. Looks like you're happy about the result.
Is he a Liverpool fan?
No, I'm actually not a Liverpool fan.
So,
I'm not. You know, while I was following the match, I saw Luton. They took the lead, and I was like, wow. The next person close to me in the studio will be very happy hoping they lose. You know, him being an Arsenal fan, yes, hoping they lose. And before I could blink, I saw 1-1, I saw 2-1, 3-1. I was like, this man won't be happy this morning. Well, actually, Liverpool is one country you can, one club side you can't write off. If it's not over, it's not over. That's just Liverpool for you. And just some few days back, you know, some of the stars. You get to see Rio Ferdinand, Patrice Evra, even Jose Mourinho, Alex Ferguson. You know, they said if there's a stadium they are scared of going to play, including Jurgen Klopp, they said it's Anfield. You know, because once you enter there, the pressure, the atmosphere, everything, and I won't blame them. That's why they used to write, "This is Anfield." So once you enter there, you know that yes, you're in Anfield.
But it's not only at Anfield that they have that large encryption. You start it at Stamford Bridge. You have it at Old Trafford.
There's what they call when your home has become a fortress. You know, you defeat a team before the team even comes into that environment. Like when a team wants to play Ronaldo team or a Messi team, an Mbappe team, there is that fear factor. So I think that's what that thing does. You know, when I saw the game, I don't think I watched it. My younger brother just said, Luton is leading by 1-0. So I told him Liverpool win. I just walked away. I told him Liverpool win and I walked away. So I wasn't surprised when I started saying 2-1, 3-1. I said, oh, G-get. So I think what is happening right now is the guys are rallying around to give Jurgen Klopp
Good send forth.
a good send forth. And I'm not happy it's happening when I think we're also doing good.
Nice,
Do you understand me?
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
think they are rallying around because from nowhere, this energy just came, and then they are pushing everybody aside. And mind you, this team has 7 or 8 players down injured.
Yeah.
Alisson Becker, Jota, Mohamed Salah, and Alexander Trent.
Matip and the
They
rest
are
of them.
all out, and then you say, these people are out. I think Jones, if I'm not mistaken, just also was injured too.
Yes.
You'll be
Curtis
thinking
Jones.
Chelsea now will be wondering. I thought these people are down. How are they still playing like this? Because they'll be playing the League Cup final over the weekend.
Over the weekend, exactly. All right, so Mr. Lalekon, you see, we saw the match against Man City Brentford, and the Man City narrowly won the match against Brentford with a 1-goal difference. So, what do you have to say about that match, sir?
Said they narrowly escaped being drawn. So, you know, football, sometimes you just discover that the so-called favorite teams losing to the weaker team. So it shouldn't be something we shouldn't be expecting in the modern football. So it is just a game of 90 minutes where everybody just have to play to their very best and see how they can. So I'm giving a kudos to Bradford and as well to Man City who won by a goal to nil. So it's a good one. It's an interesting game.
All right, so thank you so much. Still with you, Mr. Olaleko. Viewers, now we want to talk about amputation, amputee football. All right, so and from a little research I've done, and I've not heard about amputee football before now, before the preparation for this show. And amputee football is a special type of football, specially designed for players with amputation, and it is an inspiring sport that showcases the skill and determination of athletes with limb differences. All right, so if you see on your screen, you will see pictures of some of our
these are the
eagles,
teams,
special eagles. They are called special eagles. They are with one limb or the other amputated. All right, so Mr. Kelechi, do you know about amputee football? Tell us.
Okay, I actually happen to be an
referee.
amputee football referee as well.
Wow.
You know, while I officiate the able-bodied football, I also officiate that of the amputee football. Now, just like you've rightly said, it's a football for those that are having one deformity or the other. Now, let me start this way. You know, 2022, during the National Para Games at Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja here, a player, one of the Special Eagles player, Michael by name to be precise, you know, he was telling us his history. Now, he played the abled football, and he said while they were playing a competitive match, he's an attacker. Now, he actually wanted scoring a spectacular goal, and the opposing team defender just got to hit him on his leg, and that was just it. He spent over a year plus in the hospital and could not recover. And what was the next thing? His leg had to be amputated. Yes, and now he did not give up there. You know, one thing that actually gave me more insights to go into this is he said in every disability there's an ability. And it really struck me when he said that, and I said, no, I'm going to go into this. Now, Michael is currently one of the players of the Special Eagles. Now, the amputee football, for those that play inside, there's a team of 7 players. Those that play inside, they use the clutches to play, while the goalkeepers have either of their hands amputated. So it's a game of about 20-25 minutes based on the decision of the organizers. And their pitch is not as big as the normal football pitch. It's just like half of the normal, normal football pitch. Their goalpost also is not as big as that. It's just more or less like that of the handball size football.
All right, so before we get to hear from Olali Konigo, it looks like he's back. But let me just ask you, as a referee, and you say you officiate the football match between the amputated citizens.
Yeah.
So can you, is there a difference between the real football, the normal football, and the amputee football? And is there any special rules involved?
Yes.
Why officiating?
Yes. The difference are not much. You know, just like the normal football have their laws, also the amputee football have their laws. Now, some of the specialties there is in the normal football, in terms of throwing, you get to throw with your two hands.
Yeah.
But in that of the amputee football, you get to kick with your leg. Now, also in terms of goal kick, the normal football you can kick and it's going to cross the center line. But in the amputee football, if you kick and it crosses the center line, it's an infringement against you. So you see, these are some things, these are some technicalities. But trust me, if you get to watch amputee football, it's very interesting. You know, you're going to see the way they get to use the coaches to run, and you know, you just be shaking yourself. How can they get this ball? And if you get to see the experienced ones, the way they get to dribble, you'll be asking, how comes with one leg?
How is it possible?
You know, just the last para games we had at the National Stadium here last year. There's this player from Kano. He actually got the most valuable player. You know, the way he gets to dribble, run, pick the balls, it's just like, wow. Like most of other sports, they had to leave theirs to come and watch amputee football because it's really fun.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Olalekon. Please, just want to hear from you. You are you're a footballer and you have some level of amputation. So, I want to know, what do you think about the game? What's challenges or what do you see different from your own side of view?
First and foremost, let me apologize for the network over here. The reception has not really been encouraging, so I have to go out, come in again. To me, just like Mr. Kelechi has said, like Michael, I have similar story with Michael. I played football during my young years, played active football, and it was still the same true football. I got a fractured, but you know, due to ignorance back then in Kaduna, my colleagues just took me to this local orthopedic doctor who fixed the leg. So that was just how this story started, and eventually I lost that leg. So I felt there must still be another opportunity for me to play football, which I think I did some research and I got to, in contact with amputee football. So it is also applicable to many other Nigerian amputee football players who you might have been hearing their name playing in overs or playing back here in Nigeria. So we have similarities. Some of us encountered this accident through football. Some were through motor accident, some were through motorcycle accident, some were like natural disability right from when they were given birth. So, and I felt we haven't seen that as a challenge to us. Rather, we have to move on with life and to see how we can also impact others and also contribute to the society at large. Because if I should be playing football before and I still have an opportunity to play again, I felt that's a great one for me. So, and amputee football is really an interesting game, which I think it is even more interesting than the normal football because, like Mr. Kelechi said, we have our own rules, and there are rules for the goalkeeper, there are rules for the field players, and also there are rules for the referee, and even there are rules for the technical department that will be officiating or handling or overseeing the affairs of amputee football. So everybody has their own rules and regulations to follow for the game to be well played. And we could see from the other part of the world, they are doing amazingly well. And also in Africa, the number is increasing gradually. And even back here in Nigeria, I could say that the new government, the new federation, person of Chief Madu Kopo, who is the president, and his entire board has really been doing tremendously well. Because initially at the first para game, it was just only 2 states that participated. But now we have 6, let me even say 8. Two states were unable to attend due to one reason or the other. But at the last para game, we have 6 teams who participated well. And I believe the forthcoming one, the number will increase because we are trying to see how we can extend our horizon to other parts of the state, whereby we can have other states also playing amputee football. Not only male, but also we are looking into the female football and also the youth, because amputee football is all about inclusiveness. Everybody is included. Not that maybe we'll say because it's a male football, the women or the ladies can't play. No, it is everybody inclusive. So it's a great one for us. And I think over time, Nigeria also will be doing well at even having a state league. And because that's some of what we've been really agitating for. And I believe the Federation are working seriously to see how we can get that done. And that in plans ahead of this new calendar year for the Nigerian Amputee Football Federation. And also, we're trying to see how we can continue with the Zona Championship, which the president have already started during his tenure, and also want to see how we can bring in the youth so that we'll be having boot camp for the youth. Now, our ladies will be going for the first ever Nations Cup in Colombia by November. So it's a big one for Nigeria. It's a big one for the ladies. And I think already we are formulating a formidable team who will be called the Special Falcons that will be representing Nigeria at the forthcoming first ever World Cup. And also the male by April will be representing Nigeria at the 7th AFCON CANAF, that's African Amputee Nations Cup in Egypt, which will be the qualifier for the World Cup that will be coming yet this country to be stated. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So you've really touched a few of the other questions I wanted to ask, but before we conclude on that, because we really have not much time. All right, so I just want to ask you, are there different categories or divisions in amputee football? And then I also want to, so you answer the two of them together. Have there been any World Cup for this type of football? How often does the World
Yes,
Cup
like
take
I said,
place, if it has been?
Yes, like I said, what we're working on at the federation level is let's see how we can get everybody inclusive. Already, we have the male team, which has been in existence since 2002, being able to participate all Nations Cups, and Nigeria is one of the pioneer amputee nation in Africa. And we've been opportune to be at the World Cup in the year 2018, which was the first time Nigeria was able to physically present at the World Cup, which really helped us also when we came back. And eventually, 2019, we came second on the African ranking, whereby the host nation, Angola, and then where the world champion defeated us in the final. So it was really a great one. So we are looking at, let's see how we can also have the female team, because from the aims of affair at the world level, we have the female amputee football, we have the male amputee football, and we have the youth amputee football. And that was the reason why I said it is gender balance and everyone is inclusive. So, and the forthcoming Nations Cup in Egypt will be what will qualify every country in Africa that will be representing Africa at the forthcoming World Cup. Yet, the venue, the country who will be hosting is not yet known. And 5 countries will be representing Africa. Initially, it was not even up to 5, but because of the advancement of the game and the improvement, and also other countries showing interest in playing amputee football, because now in Africa, we have about 20 countries now playing amputee football effectively and actively. So, and we still have some that are still coming. South Africa is coming, and some other countries also are coming. So it's now a big challenge. It's now a big thing for everyone that will be participating at the African Nations Cup, because only 5 countries will be representing Africa. So we have the World Cup, which always comes in place every 4 years. The Nation Cup is every 2 years. And I believe by the special grace of God, all teams being equal, Nigeria will be among the country that will be qualifying for the Nations Cup to represent Africa at the world body, because we are trying to see how we can bring in all our professionals playing in Turkey, playing in Poland, and other parts of the world, and also merging them with the ones we have back home here who have really been doing tremendously well, because we've had 2 para games, we've had Zona Championship, and we've had some kind of internal friendly matches. So I believe with what we have on ground, we should be able to select the best legs that will be going to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming Nations Cup in Egypt, and also making the country proud at the Nations Cup.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olaleko, and it's very, very wonderful having you on the show this morning. All right, thank you so much. So back here in the studio, gentlemen, it's Champions League time. All right. So, last night we saw Victor Osimhen, who couldn't top up his goal tally at the AFCON, saving Napoli from Lewandowski's strike. What do you have to say, Mr. Kelechi? Briefly.
Well,
wait. Sorry
okay.
about that. So, Mr. Raphael, you're going to talk about this. Why Mr. Kelechi talks about the Arsenal photo.
Okay. I just want to say I believe Osimhen is back. Like the former coach that was sacked said, that his job would have been saved if Osimhen was on ground. So I want to say he's back, and I believe and pray that he continues in this stride to help Napoli, because they are way down in the league, in the Italian league. Yeah.
All right. So,
why are you allowing this?
I don't know. I want to look for trouble, but the good spirit in me says don't look for trouble. All right, so Porto won Arsenal.
You don't have to look for trouble.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
let me assure you. Let me assure you something. Arsenal is going to defeat Porto at the Emirates.
I know
that one. No two ways about it. Now, Arsenal considered a goal at a time I never expected they would. After holding Porto all this while,
minutes, it was just additional minutes.
Yeah, but one thing I also noticed is Arsenal did not have any shot on target.
Exactly.
Throughout the 90 minutes, no shot on target. Porto just had two, and then one was a goal.
Yeah, I think what happened was the game pattern. It was a strong back to back. I think the two teams matched each other very well. So it was a game where everybody were very, very careful not to let anything happen until that last point, 90.4. That's football. In football, you don't, like you said, it's not over until it's over. You have to get it to the last line. So, well, you said it again. I know when they come to Emirates, they will see on the wall, this is Emirates.
That intimidating inscription. All right, so gentlemen, we also had other matches at the first leg of the round of 16th games. All right, so we had the match against PSV Dortmund, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid. Also, we saw Bayern Munich going down with one red card and losing again at Lazio. Then we saw PSG dealing with Real Sociedad 2-0. We saw the citizens teaching Man U how to play Copenhagen. What's your view?
Man City is one strong team in Europe this season. Let's give kudos to them. And Copenhagen is one club that Man U don't know how to play. Yeah. And the City, just like you said, they've taught United how to play. Well, one thing with Champions League, once that anthem is being played, there's a rhythm that it comes with. It's not like you play your normal league. Once they say it's UEFA Champions League, you see teams that you don't expect coming out to give their best to see they get to create upsets and all those. And trust me, we're going to see upsets in this Champions League.
Lazio, they were able to defeat Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich was a red card down. Now
let's not forget that Lazio is also a very good team, and then Bayern for a good period have not gotten their rhythm yet. So it wasn't so much of a surprise to see that happen. And mind you, they are also hunting for a coach right now.
Yes, Tuchel is leaving at the end of the season.
They're hunting for a coach right now, looking at Xavi Alonso of Bayer Leverkusen. So I wasn't so surprised when that result came out. Even if they had a complete team, it might have still happened anyways.
And also looking at the league, you agree with me that Bayern is not really doing well. Yes. Because Leverkusen defeated them 3-0. They lost to a lower team 2-1.
The league is for Leverkusen now to lose.
Exactly.
Like last season when Dortmund lost in their home. All they needed was a draw.
Draw to win, and then they lost.
Just to win the league, and they lost.
All right, Mr. Olaliko, I don't know if you're still on the line with us. What's your overview of the first leg of the round of 16 UEFA Champions League?
All the teams have really done well. Just like Mr. Raphael said, there will be upsets. There will be underdogs taking on the super teams. So it's really an amazing one. Football generally, it's a game where it creates lots of passion, lots of emotions, heartbroken. So it's really been amazing, and I believe the whole team have done well. So let's see how the second round will be going. And for Bayern, they have not really been in their form. They've not really been doing well. And to the other teams, as well as Arsenal, Champions League is different from the leagues, the league football. So there are some specialists we have in the Champions League. Even if they are playing the worst in their leagues, when it comes to matter of Champions League, they do better than even what their fans will be expecting at their home ground. So it's a good one. So let's hope that the second round will be more interesting. Thank you.
All right, so this round of 16, second leg. We now have Bayern welcoming Lazio, but with a 1-goal aggregate down. We have Real Sociedad welcoming PSG, and Real Madrid welcoming Leipzig, RB Leipzig, and then Man City with a 3-1 aggregate, so welcoming Copenhagen to England, and Arsenal
Welcome
welcoming Porto to the Emirates Stadium. Gentlemen, what are your picks for the round of 16, like the second leg?
I don't think we'll see much of a surprise when it comes to the second leg. The game I would be looking out for will be that of Dortmund PSV,
Okay.
because they are still hanging on the thread. Same with Arsenal Porto. Arsenal a go down. I want to also see how Bayern would.
How about Napoli, Barcelona? They're still
Napoli,
on-
Barcelona. If you ask me, I would give it to Napoli because Barcelona had the chance of maybe pulling one over Napoli in their own backyard. Then, of course, nobody's expecting any miracle from Man City Copenhagen. Nobody's expecting any miracle.
Football is a game of surprises.
That one cannot surprise you. It cannot surprise you.
Yeah, so Mr.
But
Kelechi.
another thing you need to know is looking at the changes now in terms of Champions League, whereby away goals now don't count. Just like you said. Well, I will just leave it until it's over. It's not over, because these teams we're looking at can end up pulling up the surprises. But I see Arsenal winning. I see Napoli doing the miracle. I see Madrid qualifying as well. Bayern Munich. Time will tell.
All right, so this weekend we have a list of matches. We have the big game against Liverpool.
Chelsea.
Is it Chelsea?
Yeah, that's the finals.
Is it Chelsea? All right, so what's your pick? That's final.
I think I'll leave it open. I'll leave it open in the sense that
Liverpool has injuries.
aside from injuries, I think
Chelsea also does has injuries.
I think Chelsea knows how to. They might misbehave when it comes to other teams,
But the big
but
teams,
somehow
the big six.
they've played the big six very well. I
Do
don't.
you think Chelsea's their last game against Liverpool, is it not, what was the score again? Was it 4-1?
that was league. Now we're looking at the
Still,
final.
mind you, they played the same Liverpool in their first game in the league and it was 1-1.
Exactly.
Played Man City first game 4-4, Arsenal 2-2.
2-2.
Then came back to play Man City 1-1 again, beating Tottenham by a wide margin. So I think like I was telling somebody, I said Chelsea is not a team that is used to building. They work with established players, but now they are trying to build. So that's why it seems difficult. So, but that the Chelsea Liverpool, I want to watch it with an open mind. So I don't go and stick my neck somewhere and somebody pulls it out.
All right, so thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure having you come to the studio to discuss football. Also, thank you, Mr. Olalekon, for joining us virtually. Mr. Olalekon is the national team captain and North Central Zone representative of the Nigeria Amputee Football Federation. Thank you so much, Mr. Olalekon. All right, so the Naira is undergoing some serious CPR after its steady fall. The doctors, Nigerian government, are seriously doing their best to save the Naira. So let us just pray for the survival and recovery of the Nigerian Naira. All right, gentlemen, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain for today's show. Once again, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very
for
much.
having us.
And from me here, it's goodbye.